Welcome, friends, to another Wolff Responds. I want to talk to you today about authoritarianism, what I'd like to call the authoritarian hustle. Here's what it's about: the new way that leaders in the United States, political, media, big businesses, stodgy academics, the way they talk about good and bad in politics has now become democratic, that's a good one, and authoritarian, that's the bad one. For the older among you, let me explain. I have to translate. It used to be democracy versus socialism or communism. Well, that went out of fashion, and so we now have democracy versus authoritarian. It's the same silly effort by childish people to do another round of we're good, they're bad. We Americans are the goodness, and they foreigners, they are way less good, and a good bunch of them are downright bad. But good and bad sound like the childish terms they are. So instead, we're going to say democracy versus authoritarian. You all know this story, you hear it often enough. So here it is: the United States is good, Russia is authoritarian. The United States and Western Europe are good and democratic, and Russia and China and the BRICS, well, they're authoritarian. You know, the idea of democracy is a good one, and authoritarian is clearly a bad one. But using words like this, simple minded words, let's go back to what they actually mean. A democratic anything is when you have all of the decisions that affect people being made by those same people. We govern ourselves. We make sure that anybody who's in a position of leadership is accountable. One person, one vote. That's the idea. An authoritarian is when you don't do that, when you have a single person or a very small number of people with the power to tell all the rest of the people how it's going to be and what's going on. This is sort of clear. But if you try to apply it to the United States versus other countries, it doesn't fit, like a shoe that's several sizes too small. You shouldn't even try. It's kind of silly. Let me show you why that's the case. I went and voted like millions of others on the 5th of November. I went into the booth here in New York City hoping to cast my vote for someone other than the two main candidates if I had that choice. I know which one I would choose if I had to choose between the two main candidates. I am a New Yorker, and you know where that's going. But I had wanted to see who else was running. Imagine my surprise when I discovered that nobody else is running. No, wait, they are running, but some authority took them off the ballot, wouldn't let them on. Wow. There are places in the United States where third and fourth party candidates who went through all the hoops designed to keep them off to get on, and are now discovering legally that the authority has said if you vote for anybody other than Trump or Harris, your vote will not be counted. Posted right up there in the voting area in more than one state. Wow. That's authoritarianism. But let me give you even sharper examples. Most Americans, or at least a large number of them, work for something called a corporation. Let's see how the corporation is run. Do all the employees have a vote to decide democratically what their enterprise, their workplace will do, what it will produce, what technology it will use, where the production will happen, what they'll do with the revenue? No. A tiny group of people, utterly unaccountable to all the employees, makes those decisions. It's the opposite of democracy. You know what you might call it? Authoritarian. The CEO is a dictator inside the company, can do virtually anything he wants, certainly to the employees, right up including firing them in most cases. The vast majority that have no protection, no union, no contract, they're fired if the employer wants to fire them. That's an authoritarian economic system, and we all live in it. It's not over there. It's not foreign. It's very American as apple pie, isn't it? So who's calling who authoritarian? You know, they vote in Russia for all kinds of things. They do that in China too. Does that make them not authoritarian? We wouldn't allow that kind of reasoning. We would look at the different institutions and how they work. But then again, that would be if we wanted to actually understand the mix of democratic and non-democratic institutions that are the norm in most modern societies. And that wouldn't give us the nice, easy, childish, good and bad story, which is all the hustle around authoritarian ever meant and ever could be. Don't be fooled. It's childish, it's immature, it doesn't shed any light, it's just throwing bad shade on somebody else so that you don't look at the authoritarianism you might want to question right here, right at home, all around us. Don't be fooled. If interventions like this strike you as useful, please share them with friends, co-workers, colleagues, neighbors. That's why we make them. We make them so you can use them. That's what we do with them. And of course, if you can help us defray some of the costs, it would be very much appreciated as well. Thank you.